In lessons 1 through 6, we learned about independent and dependent clauses and how to use them to make simple, compound, complex, and compound-complex sentences. Now let's talk about modifiers, a way to add details to our clauses in any type of sentence. One common modifier is the adjective. Adjectives modify or give more information about nouns. In other words, they give further description to subjects and objects. In this way, they are like cameras, zooming in to show the reader more detail about a specific person, thing, or concept. In this example, patients were given steroids and antibiotics, but their system showed no improvement. We decided to add more detail. So we added two adjectives, intravenous and immune. Intravenous modifies the object in our first clause, antibiotics, and immune modifies the subject of our second clause, systems. But we have another modifier we can use, the adverb. Adverbs modify verbs. Get it? Adverbs. But they also modify lots of other things, like entire clauses, adjectives, and even other adverbs. In our same example sentence, we decided we wanted to add even more detail. We modified the verb in our first clause, given, by adding the adverb quickly, and we modified the entire second clause by adding unfortunately. Adverbs and adjectives can be more than one word. In fact, they can be whole phrases, such as the prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrases are composed of two things. They begin with prepositions, words that explain where, how, or when, and end with nouns or noun phrases. Once we put these two elements together, we have a prepositional phrase that functions like an adjective or adverb because it gives us more information about nouns, verbs, clauses, etc. The English language has lots of prepositions, much more than we've listed here. For a more complete list, review our prepositions handout linked in the module. Likely you already use prepositional phrases without even knowing it. In fact, many of our previous example sentences included these phrases. Remember this one? Speculators overwhelmed the housing market, so the Fed raised the interest rate, which caused 5 years of hardship and economic depression. We included the prepositional phrase of hardship and economic depression, which gives us more information about the noun years. Since it gives us more information about a noun, this prepositional phrase is functioning as an adjective. And here's another example sentence we used before. The test revealed malignant tumor cells, so the attending physician scheduled the patient for surgery. In this sentence, we use the prepositional phrase for surgery. For surgery added more information about how the doctor scheduled the patient. Notice that even though the prepositional phrase comes after the noun, patient, it's giving us more information about the verb, so this prepositional phrase is functioning as an adverb. The last modifier we will discuss is transitions. Transitions modify entire clauses, helping the reader progress from one idea to the next. There are many different types of transitional words and phrases. A few of the most common categories of transitions are additive, ones that forecast the addition of new information, contrastive, ones that forecast a contrast, causal, those that forecast a cause and effect relationship, and sequential, those that place the events in a temporal relationship. For a more complete list, see our handout Transitions, Building Bridges Between Ideas, linked in this module. With transitions too, the one we choose will have a different effect on the reader. For example, let's look what happens if we transition between these two sentences with however. Speculators overwhelmed the housing market, so the Fed raised the interest rate, which caused 5 years of economic depression. However, the increased rate prevented other collapses in the market. This transition suggests a contrastive relationship between the two sentences. The prevention of collapses is in contrast to hardship and economic depression. But look what happens if we use therefore as our transition word between the same two sentences. Now the relationship we've indicated is a causal relationship. The therefore is emphasizing that the increased rate prevented other collapses. Keep in mind the effect your transitional words and phrases will have on the surrounding ideas as you choose which ones to use. In Lesson 7, we learned how to add detail to our clauses with modifiers like adjectives, adverbs, prepositional phrases, and transitions, and we discussed the rhetorical effect these modifiers will have on your reader. Now it's your chance to practice what we learned. Please return to the Canvas module, open the Activity 5 document, and follow the instructions to practice correctly and rhetorically writing with modifiers. Remember to save your work as we will build on this activity in following lessons. Then, move on to the next page of the module for Lesson 8 of the workshop, where we will discuss how to avoid common errors.